Bezos, chief executive for nearly 30 years of Amazon.com, never heard of it, is stepping down.
Possible. I'm not going to pound the table on this, but I do think it's possible that he returns to the helm to study the show.
Does Bezos still have any impact on Amazon? As Amazon's largest individual shareholder, a longtime mentor to the new CEO and chairman of the board, Bezos will continue to have a significant impact on the company even as he transitions back into a less visible role. Would Jeff Bezos be able to do a Bob Iger and take over as CEO of the company given the sharp decline in Amazon's stock price and the difficult operational issues that lie ahead? According to one investor, the situation will occur in 2023. One of the 10 financial market forecasts made for this year by Michael Batnick, managing partner at Ritholtz Wealth Management, is that Jeff Bezos will make a comeback after handing over the leadership to longtime company veteran Andy Jassy in mid-2021 and becoming executive chairman. Batnick bases much of his forecast on the undervalued stock price of the company. Amazon's 50% decline was the company's biggest since 2000, the year the dot-com bubble burst. Despite 2022 being a terrible year for many tech firms, and the market as a whole being the worst since 2008. Shares have increased by 1% throughout the first 2 trading days of 2023. In just 1 year, the stock losses reduced the market value by an astounding $840 billion, and Bezos' personal wealth by about $100 billion. According to Batnick, the corporation he spent his life establishing is having severe problems. The investor continued, "A CEO reversing an earlier departure is not without precedent. Bob Iger recently accomplished this at Disney. Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, has pulled this off numerous times. Amazon's financial glide path under COVID, under Jassy, was replaced by turbulence as a number of economic forces, including inflation, worked against it. The company gave an unexpectedly poor projection for 2023 when it released its third-quarter earnings in October, predicting that overall sales would increase by just 2 to 8% over the previous year's total. There are certainly many cross-currents that Amazon must deal with," admits Batnick, but he claimed that Bezos, who is 59 next week, would be enticed back to the corner office by both his own losses and the precarious state of his brainchild. Amazon is dealing with a challenging operating environment, including a slowdown in advertising and rising shipping, labor, and logistics expenses. The corporation revealed in an SEC statement on Tuesday that it had secured an $8 billion loan for general corporate purposes. A firm representative attributed the loan to the uncertain macroeconomic environment in a statement to tech and financial media sites. Amazon doubled the number of its fulfillment centers after COVID sparked a surge in consumer demand, only to see the tides turn as the worst of the pandemic passed. Layoffs have affected its 1.3 million employees, which is an uncommon move for a software powerhouse that was in the midst of a hiring binge when Jassy took the helm. And plans for numerous new facilities have had to be cut back or put on hold. Despite the fact that the corporation is still a titan in numerous industries, notably entertainment, with Prime Video possibly reaching its peak year in 2022, its overall growth has virtually stagnated. Regrouping should be prioritized over creating the world of 2020 right now. Of course, Jassy is an expert. The Harvard Business School graduate, a 25-year veteran of the corporation, most recently served as the leader of Amazon Web Services, the company's prized subsidiary. The amiable but passionate music lover, though, wasn't commonly regarded as a viable heir to the throne. He has stated that when Bezos contacted him in 2021, he had no intentions of running for a higher position. Bezos continues to be involved in Amazon's daily operations, and there hasn't been as much public controversy as there was in the Disney situation, where Iger became more and more alienated before questioning the decisions of his hand-picked successor, Bob Chapek. As the CEO of Walt Disney, Bob Chapek committed a lot of little errors. He botched the highly visible talks for Scarlett Johansson's pay, declined to support his company's LGBTQ position in the Don't Say Gay debate with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and enraged many of the company's top creative leaders by altering the organization's structure. Each mistake was minor when compared separately, and had the economy been in better shape, Chapek probably would have had more time to adjust. The current CEO had a dilemma since he took over the business just before the pandemic broke out, and at a time when when Disney had committed to investing billions in its streaming service. Having this extremely successful predecessor still in the room, or at least on fast dial for the board of directors, was another problem for Chapek. It seemed obvious that the board would act when Bob Iger was accessible, rested, and prepared to go, and when Disney Plus losses were totally anticipated, but yet shocking in some way. The last two Starbucks CEOs who weren't named Howard Schultz lost their jobs due to the same general circumstances. When a living legend is waiting in the wings, ready to step back into the game, being good with the potential to get better just isn't good enough. The market appeared to accept and comprehend that Amazon adopted a long-term perspective when Bezos was the company's CEO. If infrastructure investment made sense, profits would be sacrificed, and the former CEO was never able to satisfy Wall Street with Amazon's quarterly performance. That's a luxury that his successor, Andy Jassy, does not have as a founder, who effectively has a majority interest in Amazon stock. Under Bezos, Amazon's stock fluctuated, but the market appeared to accept his "it's always day one" strategy in general. Jassy has stuck to the script, but there is a lot more cynicism, and the stock price of the company has fallen 44% so far this year. Jassy hasn't really done anything wrong, just as you can't really blame Chapek for Disney's stock price or the economic environment in which the business runs. Although there are certainly little things you may criticize him for, he essentially followed Bezos' playbook. Although Bezos has many other interests, he is still present in the room, and putting him back in command would be very enticing to the board and shareholders. So that may not be enough. Iger required Disney's board to want him to return, whereas Bezos could conceivably just retake his position. Scott Galloway, a well-known expert on retail and a professor of business at NYU, predicts that Amazon will spin off its AWS cloud service, which Jassy previously oversaw, and reassign Bezos to lead the remaining portion of the firm. Jassy maintains his dignity in that case, since he would probably take over as CEO of AWS. Bezos has never been in favor of spinning off any portion of the business, but if he decides to run again, a combination of economic pressure and governmental pressure may cause him to think twice. In 2023, after the company's shares dropped by more than half the previous year, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos may take over as CEO, according to a Wall Street analyst. In a memo presenting his market predictions for the upcoming year, Ritholtz Wealth Management's Director of Research, Michael Batnick, made the prediction on Monday. Jeff Bezos worked for Amazon for 27 years before leaving in less than 2. He pulls a Bob Iger in 2023 and comes back to right the ship, according to Batnick. After removing his hand-picked replacement, Bob Chapek, in November, previous long-standing Disney CEO Iger took over again after the company's shares lost a third of their value during his 2-year tenure. Bezos, who established Amazon in 1994, resigned as CEO in January 2021 and was succeeded by Jassy, a trusted aide who had previously led the cloud company Amazon Web Services. Bezos, who was once the richest man in the world and whose income is entirely based on his ownership of Amazon, don't feel too bad for him. Bezos' bank account has largely recovered thanks to Amazon's stock rising this year. That's all for today. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications. Also, express your valuable thoughts in the comment section below. Until then, bye! Also, spend some time watching other videos on the channel.